Welcoming you to the 1892nd edition of the Enfield Talking newspaper, Dateline, Valentine's Day, 14th of February 2013. The readers this week are Elizabeth, Audrey, Malcolm and Caroline, and myself, with Dave on the controls. The items we will be reading will come from our local newspapers and are their copyright. Our title music is Country Rock Polka, composed by Pat Crilly, Fernand Brouillon, Harry Breur, and it is performed by Jean-Jacques Perret and is used with his kind permission. Local stories include Pupils Left Out in the Cold Again, Decrease Your Energy Bills, Couple Celebrates 70 Years of Marriage Made in Heaven, and Tory MP Dubois slams broken promises over hospital improvements. But first of all, some special news items from Audrey.
On Tuesday, the 12th of February, the Merrion Club gathered at the Rose Taylor Centre to enjoy a fabulous meal, followed by a dance and sing-along with Paul as the DJ. It was a very good opportunity for Enfield Talking newspaper to talk to listeners. Mary and Bill in particular had come along in spite of the weather still being quite cold, and they had been married for 67 years. The Deputy Mayor joined us and seemed genuinely impressed by members of the club and Sylvia Chapman and her loyal helpers. There was a great raffle. Choosing was quite difficult. There were so many lovely prizes. This was the second attempt to hold this dinner and dance. The first time was in January. The snow and wintry conditions meant it had to be called off. A month later, there was still some snow around, but this did not deter the bus drivers or the Merrion Club members, and so everyone had a great evening. So many, many thanks to Sylvia once again. She felt very unwell on the night, but we all hope that her heavy cold is on the mend.
If you're experiencing any problems receiving your Enfield Talking newspaper, please phone Diane de Jersey on 0208 805 6578. She is your listener's representative and will be pleased to help you. And at the end of side 2, please remember to turn over the address label in your postal packet. Put the cassette into the packet and return it to us as soon as possible in readiness for the next edition. And now Malcolm will read the first item of local news.
Pupils at beleaguered Broomfield School were forced out of their classrooms in freezing temperatures yet again this week following a power cut. Students at the school in Wilmer Way, Palmer's Green, have now had their lessons disrupted for more than 3 weeks after the central heating broke down last month and asbestos was discovered in the building. The school was evacuated on Monday morning after staff found a problem with the power supply, and pupils had to stand in the playground in freezing temperatures until the electricity was fixed. According to school staff, the power cut on Monday morning was linked to the heating problems that plagued Broomfield throughout January. Portable electric heaters being used to warm the sixth form centre tripped to the school's mains. A spokeswoman from Enfield Council told the Advertiser that work was being carried out to identify weaknesses with the heating, hot water and electrical systems to ensure the problems were not repeated. She insisted the fiasco was not a symptom of a crumbling infrastructure. One mother with 3 children at the school was horrified when her Year 11 son returned home before lunch, saying he was too cold to continue standing in the playground. She admitted that the past few weeks of uncertainty and chaos had damaged her faith in the school. It seems that every 5 minutes they have a problem, said the mum, who did not wish to be identified. To be honest, I'm thinking of taking my 3 children out of there. Over the past few weeks, nobody knew what was going on. Honestly, I think the whole school should be shut down. Head teacher Peter Travis said, "Before students were allowed back into school, we had to investigate what had happened to make sure the building was safe and that there was no danger to students and staff. We took registers in the playground and pupils were escorted to parts of the school with good natural daylight before the power was restored." However, he insisted that power was restored to the school by lunchtime and that lessons continued as normal for the rest of the afternoon.
In a bid to help residents who are struggling with soaring bills, council chiefs have signed up to a new bulk buy energy scheme. Enfield Council has joined the Big London Energy Switch, a bargaining group which aims to help residents slash their energy bills by finding the best bulk buy deal for customers. As many people as possible are being encouraged to sign up to the scheme. where an independent company negotiates with the big energy providers on behalf of members. The incentive for the energy providers is that if they offer the lowest possible deal and outbid their rivals, they win the contract to provide energy in bulk to every member of the scheme. And the more residents who sign up, the better the chance of securing a cheap deal, as the big energy providers will compete for a chance to supply a large number of customers at once. Enfield is one of 17 London councils to have signed up to the scheme, and Chris Bond, Cabinet Member for Environment, believes it will benefit vulnerable people most. This fantastic scheme will help us to tackle fuel poverty, improve the health of residents, and go some way towards ending the sad circumstances where families have to choose between heating their houses in winter or buying food. He said, "I'd urge residents to sign up to this excellent scheme and reap the benefits of cheaper gas and electricity. Once the best deal has been found by the middleman, those who have signed up to the scheme are told which energy company is offering the most competitive price." But the council has stressed that there's absolutely no obligation to switch providers, adding that if people aren't entirely happy with the new offer from the middleman, then they can choose to stay with their current supplier. Residents can register for the scheme at www.biglondonenergyswitch.org.uk.
A couple who are marking their platinum wedding anniversary today have described their marriage as a partnership made in heaven. Alec and Ruby Swan, both 91, grew up in Ponders End, where they met at the age of 15 while working at a metallic tubing factory in South Street. The childhood sweethearts were married aged 21 at the Catholic Church of Mary, Mother of God in Nags Head Road, Ponders End, on February the 13th, 1943. Mrs. Swan told the Advertiser, "I remember very well the day I met Alec for the first time. I've always loved him. Our marriage was made in heaven. I believe the secret to a happy marriage is to give and take and to trust one another. We've always had a good time together and we have never quarrelled really. Not that much," added Mr. Swan with a grin. The couple are currently living apart as Mrs. Swan is at a home in Lincoln Road, Bushel Park, while her husband is being looked after at Hugh Middleton House Care Home in Old Farm Avenue, Southgate. She visited her husband on Friday as friends and family gathered for a celebration. Mr. Swan served as a mechanic in the Royal Navy's Fleet Air Arm during World War II and worked as a carpenter at Leach Builders in Cheshunt until 1971. The following year, Mr. Swan joined Ford Motor Company in Enfield, where he worked as a foreman until his retirement in 1984. The couple have 4 children, Teresa, David, Ian and Michael, 4 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. Sven, the general manager at Hugh Middleton House, said, "This is the first platinum wedding we have ever celebrated in my time here, and it's been a great occasion." Indeed.
That's wonderful. A long time, isn't it? Enfield North MP Nick Dubois pressed the government to boost primary care services in the borough during a parliamentary debate last week. Mr. Dubois told MPs last Thursday he was concerned that Chase Farm Hospital would soon lose its accident and emergency and maternity departments without primary care health provision being improved, as was promised. "I oppose the reconfiguration, but recognise that I need to fight for the best possible deal for Enfield," he said during the House of Commons debate on accident and emergency closures. "It is therefore important to examine the so-called preconditions of implementation of a strategy that we were guaranteed would be put in place before any services would be removed." Mr. Dubois was referring to recommendations made by an independent NHS reconfiguration panel in 2008, outlining a number of improvements to primary care services, including inpatient, women's and children's services, and a consultant-led paediatric and older people's assessments units that needed to be in place at Chase Farm before it could be downgraded. Mr. Dubois added, "It is vital that promise is delivered, but it is already some 4 years since this change was envisaged."
A free food service has expanded to cope with the rising demand from people in need. Determined not to turn people away, the North Enfield Food Bank moved from a church hall in Baker Street to a warehouse in Great Cambridge Road on Saturday. The Mayor of Enfield, Councillor Kate Onulu, and MP David Burrows opened the new premises. The food bank has dished out 14,400 meals to more than 1,600 people in the past 9 months. Louise Brony-Mensa, manager of the food bank, said, We're seeing the demand for the service increasing week by week. We do not want to turn anyone away through lack of food or resources. We want to help more people in need. Schools, businesses and churches donate emergency food to the bank before it's sorted by volunteers from the congregation of Jubilee Church in Southbury Road and given to people in need.
Pensioners enjoyed tea and cake while doing their bit for charity. Members of charity Age UK gather at the organisation's Enfield offices in Nags Head Road in Southbury to raise money for the charity's Spread the Warmth campaign. The event, called Bobble Day, took place in locations throughout the country to raise cash for the campaign. The project also encourages people to donate clothes, heaters and electric blankets to keep elderly people warm during the winter.
There are some audio-described performances for those people who like to go to the theatre. Now, we have at the Apollo Theatre, Victoria Theatre, Wicked, which is a very well-known show, very well going to see, and that's on Saturday the 9th of March at 2:30pm. There's a touch tour at 12:30pm, and of course the audio-described performance as well. The booking office is 020-7834-6318. That's 020-7834-6318. The price is £30, reduced from £60, which does seem to be a very good offer. And the next one that you may be interested in is also on the 9th of March at the Almeida Theatre. It's The Turn of the Screw at 2:30, another touch tour at 1pm, and the audio description. The bookings are £16 here, and the booking number is 020-7288-4999. And lastly for now, Saturday the 16th of March, Her Majesty's Theatre, Haymarket, the lovely show, The Phantom of the Opera. And the bookings are 0844-482-5165. It's another very expensive one at £65, but you can all get in for £31.
And Cineworld at Southbury Road, they offer audio-described showings of all of the latest films which are out. I don't have the number here, but if you get someone to find the number for you, I know that they're offering that at the cinema now. Enfield Southgate MP David Burrows has succeeded in his campaign to tighten up the laws around drink driving. A change in the law means that drivers who kill when they are over the drink drive limit will be charged automatically with causing death by careless driving and will face up to 15 years in prison. Before now, drink drivers could avoid more than 6 months behind bars if the prosecution was unable to prove that they had been driving carelessly as well as being over the drink drive limit. Mr. Burrows has been campaigning to ramp up punishments for drivers who kill since the death of 16-year-old Livia Galley Atkinson, one of his constituents, who was mown down by a car that mounted the pavement in Windmill Hill, Enfield in 1998. Although the driver in that case was not drunk, Mr. Burrows has been working to